Oh boy. So, I had this thought for a long while now, ever since I delved further in the Sonic franchise, and by extension, the fandom itself. It's one of many debates whenever it's brought up. Characterization, particularly the titular main character, Sonic the Hedgehog. Yeah, you can tell where this is going. Since the blue guy has a turbulent history surrounding his reception throughout the entire series, so I wanted to express my thoughts on how I feel about the topic, especially regarding the many versions of the blue blur. Now, to clarify, the points that I will be making are subjective. Everyone has their own opinion, so it's okay to like that version or not. So in the end, it's just personal preference. So please be understanding, respectful, and not attack anyone. With that, I'm Blating Gamer and welcome to another discussion. Many people gravitate to the Sonic they grew up with, having fondness to those versions with how they act, influence the story, and the characters. Although Sonic's character spark many debates, with some fans being very uptight with how he should be portrayed. It's very confusing and annoying, especially the quote-unquote true Sonic discourse. I'll explain that one later because we need to look at Sonic's character first. From my understanding, Sonic in the games is someone who do whatever he wants, a guy who values freedom, always on the move as well as being a heroic-like figure who inspire others and care for his friends. He's not perfect though, having flaws due to his ways, but has a good heart. By design, he's a static character throughout all the games. He doesn't develop that much, but changes the people around him. As you can tell, Game Sonic is beloved by many, having impacted a lot of people due to his personality and the way he conveys his actions. He is both in and out of universe an inspiration. As for his other versions, they do share aspects but are different in their characteristics, especially the stories they're in that shows traits you wouldn't see with Game Sonic for a more creative spin, which is interesting. So why does the fandom get heated over it, especially towards his other interpretations? Well, the fan base, in short, is a mess. Whenever there's a discussion on anything Sonic related, it eventually became a war zone, killing any fun in talking about stuff. And in this case, Sonic is one of many characters that people has issues on his portrayals, whether be the games or other media. It can be reflected by the many highs and lows of the franchise, depending on who you ask. Preference and bias are the main factors for most whenever discussing Sonic's character and how he should be portrayed. It's due to both Sonic Team and the IDW staff not handling well with Sonic's character in the past and even now to a certain extent. Not to mention the inconsistency of the writing and lack of focus didn't help matters due to Sega's weird choices. There's also conflicting statements from the officials, the whole US and JP difference, plus the Ian Flynn shenanigans, is a recipe that fractured the fan base. You can see why this topic has been blown way out of proportion over the years, becoming very critical and, for a lack of a better word, very sensitively defensive, especially those who are more into the Japanese side. The fans, at least some, tend to define Sonic's ideal character and who the quote-unquote real Sonic is. Additionally, there are some who treat his other interpretations as a disservice for not being Sonic for some reason. So from what I can get, they want Sonic to always act like his 2000 self, or more accurately, his Japanese self, being commonly known as his best portrayals like in the adventure games, Unleash, the storybook games, Frontiers, depends if you count this, and so on. Although, I fail to see why his other versions are a disrespect to his character. Granted, I am aware that these versions definitely have seen some issues from the fanbase, but because they are not like Game Sonic, it equates to them being bad, which doesn't make any sense since all the alternate variants are Sonic, just a bit different. Alright, now that I covered this whole dilemma, all I can say is it's quite complicated, at most very incoherent. It's just, you're not wrong, but you're not right either. I can understand why Sonic's character is important. Like I said, he impacted a lot of people due to his nature of being an ideal. People can be very passionate to the things they like, especially when they dive deeper in the franchise. However, it does go to the extreme length. And it's here why everyone has a different view on Sonic. All have their own bias when it comes to this because it depends on what Sonic era we all grew up with. Now, there is nothing wrong to have different opinions. Not everyone will agree with your take and it's okay. Just make sure to be respectful. Same goes for the criticisms. It's important to criticize something in order to improve and not to vent out your hatred, just as long it's justifiable and reasonable. It's getting out of hand now, this aggression towards others. So we need to be better at not getting all up in arms on Sonic's different portrayals even existing. If you still disagree, then just do it in silent. And at the same time, I don't understand why his other interpretations are a problem. I've seen many insist Sonic has this correct standard on how he should act, which is odd because he doesn't really have a fixed characterization due to his design as a character and can also fit into almost any scenario. In some angles, it's unnecessary to have a requirement on liking something and pushing it to others. Just like and enjoy whatever version. If you have one, then treat the other versions as Sonic. Which brings me to the true/real Sonic argument, the other piece that I have mixed feelings on. The thing is, it's more of a criticism whenever Sonic acts OOC or out of character in any game universe related stories. Not a label to mark Game Sonic, mainly his Japanese self, as the one and only Sonic, while the rest are fakes. Which is why I don't agree with the idea of a true Sonic because there are so many versions of the character. A whole library of different interpretations, yet many think it will ruin on who Sonic is. I'm not saying to disregard Sonic's core traits, however, there will always be add-on or a slight change to his character in other adaptations that is not connected to the games. It doesn't mean his original characterization is less significant, since you can do both respect it and do something new with it. It's why I'm okay with these changes as long as it's serviceable to the story, it exists in its own continuity, it has context, and the most important part, it still feels like the character. Just make sure none of them are out of place. So to finish, every version of Sonic is Sonic in their own right, and none of them are better than the other. All of them, including his game self, have their pros and cons, so I don't fault anyone for reasonably disliking them, but you can't always expect every Sonic to have the same philosophy as his main self. They just have their own ways of doing things due to circumstances, or to who they are. In the end, who Sonic is isn't supposed to be debated. Disregarding the obvious bad ones, there are a lot of good Sonic interpretations out there, whether it be official or fan-made. Keep in mind, some of his variants are good, evil, neutral, morally gray, and etc. Yet they still feel like Sonic. And no, I'm not trying to downplay Game Sonic either. He has moments where his character shines. That Sonic isn't a perfect character. He has flaws. He makes mistakes at times. He has moments of heroicness, but also times where his cockiness got a hold on him. Despite all of this, he pulled through in the end just by being himself. From being the first Sonic, Game laid the foundation to properly adapt his character to different scenarios and universe. Different interpretations with the same character with his characteristics mixed from his old one with new ones. But also to remind us to what made him endearing in the first place. Whether it be his attitude, his ideals, or whatever, it's why he matters as well. I hope that all of you understand it's okay to have many different versions of Sonic. So let's just call Game Sonic Original Sonic instead of True Sonic. That way it doesn't undermine his other counterparts, because they are all Sonic as well, not fakes, nor in name only. But alas, it all depends on your preference at the end of the day. So let me ask all of you this. Is it bad to have different interpretations of Sonic? And what is your opinion on every version of him? Whether be the games, boom, movie, comic, fan-made, or etc. Let me know in the comments and I'll read them, as long as it's civil, of course. With that, thank you everyone for listening to my ramble. I just wanted to express my thoughts on the matter, and there are things I wish I can say more, but it's either repeating myself or unable to implement it to the script. I'm still not happy with the final words, but it's good enough to give a message at least. Look, I know not all of you are like this, and have good intentions considering the aforementioned faults are to blame. Sonic's character is important to who he is, but it does go a bit too far for others. There's no need for a requirement on liking something, just enjoy whatever version you like, since it's okay to have different interpretations as long as they have the important aspects of a adaptation, and to remember the importance of the original / the first. Moreover, I never had any bias on JP or US, because I like both of their elements. However, there are some parts on both sides that I really don't agree with. But it doesn't affect my enjoyment of the series. I'm just happy to see this franchise finally recovered, regardless of some issues, and I can't wait to see more in the future. Oh, and don't worry, I'm well aware what I'm getting myself into, so I'm expecting those comments to show up. It's just I'm really tired of seeing a lot of slander or disrespect on the other interpretations of Sonic, but again, I understand why. It's just maybe try to tone it down, but also to see that they are all Sonics in their own right, okay? But it's your opinion, we can respect each other for that, and I can't wait to see some of your thoughts in the comments. Just please be mindful and understanding, and let's respect each other, alright? Alright. So with that, thank you guys for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Leave a like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time.